Big yikes. Bishware. Tell me it's YA without telling me it's YA type shit. I could not fucking stand that bitch. It was the epitome of anticlimactic. I just get re-pissed off, so we're gonna move on. What is up? It's Jan back at it again with another nerdy bookish video. Today I'm going to talk about my top 10 worst books of 2021. So originally I wasn't gonna make this video because a lot of the books that I don't like, a lot of the books I do love, honestly, I barely remember things, but like I definitely don't remember much from books that I don't like. But then I realized, you know, why the fuck not? I had like 15 or 16 1 to 2 star books last year and I narrowed it down to 10. I only gave one book 1 star. I'm gonna start with that. That's gonna be the worst book on this list, and then everything else, it's not in order of how much I hated it. So bear with me. I'm probably gonna tell you like how I felt about it, the things I do remember, obviously, why I don't think you should read it, and then I'll list some good things if they have any, you know? And if you like this, then maybe give it a chance. But anyway, also, new setup. I'm in the bedroom today because I wanted to film in front of this wall. Isn't it cute? A little Diary of Blood. That's the worst book of 2021. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Okay. First book, the worst book that I read in 2021, the only 1 star that I gave, He Started It by Samantha Downing. Y'all know, y'all might not know, but My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing was my top favorite thriller of all time for a hot sec. Rock, Paper, Scissors topped that last year, but I was so excited for her sophomore novel, so excited. And then I like opened it up at the library. I got it from the library, thank God. I opened it up at the library and I was like, oh, sweet, short ass chapters. Like, I'm gonna fly through this. Nope, it took me months to read this book. Like, I kept putting it down and then I refused to DNF it because it had such short chapters and it was highly anticipated because of the author and everything. But no. So this family goes on this road trip. There was this inheritance from this grandpa or something, and they were like on this road trip to try to do something to get the inheritance, right? And then like I don't even know how to explain this without being spoilery. So then like some of the family members just started dying, and like people on this road trip were like dying, and they were trying to figure out who it was, and then the reveals were terrible. The reveals, the ending did nothing for me. It was not riveting whatsoever. I was like, why is it so like discombobulated? I was so mad because I was like, please, Samantha Downing, have more than 1 good book in you. And like a lot of people don't even like My Lovely Wife. Like a lot of people hate My Lovely Wife. Okay, not a lot of people. I've just heard Jesse hate My Lovely Wife, if we're being honest. I know it has like mixed reviews, but like I loved it. And then her 3rd book came out, For Your Own Good, and that's a whole different story. I also read that last year. It was better than He Started It. It just wasn't hitting, you know? Number 2, again, this isn't in order of anything after the first one. It's just the way I listed it. What the fuck? Okay, number 2, Dreaming of You by Melissa something. I don't even know. I'll put the cover right here. I read this in December for Brewhouse Books, their December pick, and it's this short little novel in verse about this woman who's like obsessed with Selena, you know, the celebrity, the singer, whatever. She's like trying to convince herself that she could bring Selena back to life. And then there's like this seance, and then it goes into like daily activities, and then there's like random talk about Twitter and all these like random, I don't even know. They just had these random passages about sex, and then daily life, and then depression, I think, and then Selena. I went to the live show discussion for this book, and a lot of people didn't enjoy this, including the hosts. Cami, I think, actually used the words, I hate this book. So it was not a good time. The only reason I'm glad I read it is because it was December and I was trying to hit 200 books, and it was a quick read. That is all. The next book I have on this list is probably, definitely the most disappointing book that I read in 2021. Yeah, I would go ahead and say that. A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. Yeah, so I gave this one 2 stars. I gave all these books 2 stars except He Started It, which I gave 1 star, by the way. But A Lesson in Vengeance. So the cover, gorgeous, right? The premise, enticing. I feel like so many people were anticipating this book, also because it's written by a trans author, so we love that rep. And there were like, you know, sapphic relationships in it, and there was supposed to be magic. Bishware. That was the thing that got everyone. It was pitched as this like witchy dark academia with like magic and this magic school and this fucking murder and everything, and then it was the epitome of anticlimactic. There was absolutely, like, spoiler alert, there was no magic. So if you're going into this book, if this book is on your TBR because of the magic, yeah, take it off, because that's not what you're gonna get. It's just not. It talks about magic in the sense of like your daily life and how you like make your own magic, and magic doesn't have to be magic to be magic. And it's like, no, we want it to be magic. That's why people picked up the damn book. And the characters were so juvenile and annoying. I don't know. I read it for Sapphicathon. I did read it in a little over 24 hours, and it was like the group book basically for that month because everyone was anticipating it, and it was my book club pick. My guest Renee for that month also hated it. I don't know. I was so surprised that Jessie liked it because they read it for Sapphicathon that month too. They enjoyed it and they loved Ellis Haley, and I could not fucking stand that bitch. Like, bro, I'm so mad. Every time I think about this book and how excited I was for it and then how much of a letdown it was, I just get re-pissed off. So we're gonna move on. The fourth book on this list is Skim by Mariko Tamaki and Jillian Tamaki. I think Jillian's the illustrator though. It's a graphic novel. I also read this for Sapphicathon. Not gonna lie, I was kind of intoxicated while reading this book, but that's the reason I picked up a graphic novel, so that it was like, you know, light on the brain. It was supposed to be like kind of witchy. I don't even remember, dude. It was just, I didn't like the art style, first of all. Second of all, there was this one character that was just a straight up bitch for no reason. Absolutely no reason. Like, she was just plain rude, disrespectful. I think it was supposed to be her best friend too, and it was just so annoying to read. I was like, when can this be over? Like, it was like not even 200 pages, I don't think, and it felt like a whole full-blown novel because I was so irritated by this character. I think if I weren't intoxicated, I would have DNF'd this book, but I just wanted to get through it because it was Sapphicathon. There was a sapphic relationship somewhere in there. I honestly don't even remember. It was one of the worst graphic novels I've ever read. The next book on this list I unhauled immediately after my book club live show. It was just so... Another one that's super anticlimactic. 9 Perfect Strangers by Leanne Moriarty. So this is supposed to be like mystery, thrillery, something. So it's about these 9 people who go to this like facility, this like, it's not a rehab facility, it's a something. I forgot what they termed it, but it was just this like facility where like they all have their individual unique problems. They all talk about it in this like support group and whatever. Or not a support group. It's not a support group. It's like a facility where they get the help they need, but they don't all have the same problem. Does that make sense? I wish I remembered what it's called. Okay, hold on. I need to look this up. I did start watching the show though. That's the biggest reason why I made it a book club pick, because the show was coming out that month in August of last year on Hulu, and I wanted to watch the show, and I watched a couple of the episodes and I actually really enjoyed it compared to the book. At a health resort, that's what it's called, a health resort. There are 9 characters. One, like the son committed suicide. There's one person who has a broken heart. I don't know. They all have their own like situations, right? One's dealing with their weight, like shit like that. The only reason I didn't give it 1 star was because some of the parts were actually kind of funny. Some of the lines, yes, were like humorous. Okay, I'll give it that. But it wasn't there was nothing thrilling about it. The twist, I guessed from like page 26. I knew exactly what was going on, and it was the dumbest thing. I felt like this had so much potential with all these characters and everything, but it just wasn't. It was it's so annoying. It's even more annoying because it was so thick, and I binged the last like 250 pages the day of the live show. Like, I had the audiobook though, but like still, I was just not in it. And I know my guest Sharni only enjoyed it because of like the funny Australian moments that I barely even understood. Sharni's Australian, Leanne Moriarty's Australian, so there were these parts that only Australians understood. I put in my review, unbelievably stupid, but not 1 star because it had some good quotes and funny parts. That was definitely a miss for one of my book club picks. And I like refused to read anything by Leanne Moriarty afterwards, and I'm still recovering from that book. I'm not gonna lie, like that trauma from that book. Same with Stephen King. I read The Shining, I think it was like 2 years ago now, and I still have yet to read another Stephen King because I haven't recovered. Anyway, next. I forgot I even read this book last year. It felt like 2 years ago, but If Only I Could Tell You by Hannah, is it Beckerman? Something like that. I read this for reading books that made Gabby Reads cry. I'll link it down below. Big yikes. So I was so ready. I was so ready to sob and weep and feel for these characters, but oh my god. There's this family that like split apart, like the sisters haven't talked to each other in years, and it was so hyped up, like there's this big dramatic thing, right? Oh my god, the reveal of why they haven't talked in so long. Again, anticlimactic. I hate the misunderstanding, miscommunication trope. I'm just gonna put that out there and leave that out there and leave it at that. Next book, The Henna Wars. Don't remember the author's name, sorry. Be right here. I'm sure you've heard of this book. It's a YA sapphic romance. I listened to this on audio. So it's about this group of high schoolers who have this big project, right? And like there's this like business rivalry in this project situation. One of them wanted to start a henna business, and she meets this girl, and it has good discussion, okay? But it was very juvenile, and there was no chemistry between the characters. The girl had no personality. The girl who like enters, you know, the friend group and whatever, no personality. I didn't feel any type of connection to anyone in this book. It was so hyped up, and like everyone said it's such a cute story and blah blah blah. No, I'm not gonna read, like, anti-TBR time, I'm not gonna read the other book, Hanu and Ishu, whatever, Hani, Guide to Fake Dating, that one, not gonna read it. It has good ratings on Goodreads, but it wasn't even the audiobook's fault. Like, even if I read this physically, I feel like I'd be even more annoyed if I read it physically, you know? I said, don't get me wrong, it had good discussions about family acceptance and cultural differences, but I couldn't care less about the high school project or the high school drama. That's another thing. There was a lot of, like, unnecessary drama that only happens in high school. Like, tell me it's YA without telling me it's YA type shit, you know? Okay. The next book I have on this list is Hunted by Megan Spooner. I read this for my Beauty and the Beast retelling vlog back in January of 2021. So this one and the Beauty and the Beast like classic were the ones I least enjoyed for that vlog. But Hunted, I think I followed along with the physical book, with the audiobook. The way the retelling was executed was just so, I can't think of the word for it. Let me see what I put in my review. I'm actually curious. Waste of my time. Waste of my time. Seemed like a retelling of ACOTAR rather than just Beauty and the Beast. LOL. Didn't care enough to pay much attention to the details. Wasn't into the plot. Would not recommend. She has spoken, folks. There you go. The next book is Invisible Girl by Lisa Jewell. So, Lisa Jewell is a hit or miss author for me. I've read like 4 of her books now, I think. If you're gonna read Lisa Jewell, I suggest reading The Family Upstairs and Then She Was Gone. But Invisible Girl is about this guy who's a virgin, and then he discovers this like incel thing, which is involuntary celibate. So he goes into this forum, and then there's this murder somewhere. And I was just so freaking bored. And it took me forever to get through this book, and I don't know why I didn't just DNF. I'm so bad at DNFing, we all know that. But Invisible Girl was Lisa Jewell's new release, I think in 2020. I read it last year, and I was intrigued because I liked her other 2 books that I just mentioned, and I liked the cover, and then it's pitched as haunting, vivid, evocative, unputdownable. No, none of those things. It was just some whiny dude. Honestly, I don't even really remember, but there was a murder there somewhere, and there was no thrill. I felt nothing. It's only 2 stars as opposed to 1 star because it did make me gasp a couple times. Don't ask me where I gasped, what I gasped about, because I have absolutely no clue. Other than that, I didn't really care about the story. Trigger warnings for sexual assault, rape, and alcoholism. Okay. The last one, I feel like people are gonna come at me for this one. The last book on this list is My Sister, the Serial Killer. So this is a short little book. Girl finds out her sister is a serial killer, and then she gets involved and she helps with these murders, right? And she helps cover it up and like cleans the blood and whatever. I listened to this on audio. I feel like maybe if I read it physically, this is one of those where I think physically I would have enjoyed it more. I just don't think it was for me. Like the writing style, the way the plot was laid out. There were a couple of humorous parts that I caught while listening to the audiobook, but it still probably wouldn't have exceeded 3 stars. It just wasn't for me, and that's okay. I hope that's okay because I know this is a beloved book. I was really excited for it because I love short books. I love short little quirky books that like not a lot of people have heard of. This one was pretty popular for a while, and I love books about serial killers, and it just didn't do it for me. And I was really sad about it actually, but it's okay. Maybe I'll reread it physically another time, but most likely not. Let's be real. So that is that. I feel like I didn't really like do this the way I planned, so sorry. I kind of just turned into one big long rant. What else are these videos, right? Anyway, if you made it to the end of this video, put the thumbs down emoji in the comments down below. That would kind of look bad if people like didn't make it to the end of this video and they see all these comments. Whatever. Let me know also in the comments what your worst book of 2021 was. I'm very curious actually. So yeah, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Hope y'all had a great day. Stay safe and stay positive always, and I'll see y'all in my next one. Bye!